What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to talk about Dishonored 3, one of, if not, the biggest of the games that were leaked due to Microsoft's a very, very big mistake several days ago, right? We got the Fallout remaster and Oblivion and all that jazz. Dishonored 3 probably stands out the most to me, and I'd be very excited for it and also very worried about it, and that's kind of where I want to lead this video. So excitement, at least to me, it's the thing that probably jumped out the most. You know, Ghostwire Tokyo was kind of the most underappreciated thing on there, right? Ghostwire Tokyo sequel. Obviously, Fallout and Oblivion getting remasters are absolutely enormous, but Dishonored, very, very much loved property, and actually, I had just gone back, and I've never actually really liked the Dishonored games. I made a video on my third channel, on my retrospective channel. We went back, and I played Dishonored 1 again because I had played it when it first came out, and I respect it a whole lot more now than I did back then. I actually still have not gone through all the way Dishonored 2, so I'm definitely going to do that, and that does make me excited because I think Dishonored 1 is a very good game. I'm probably still on the low end of what I think about it compared to other people. I still have to go through the second game, but it makes me excited about this one because so many people have a lot of very nice things to say about both of the Dishonored games, even the DLC to it, so I'd absolutely take a third game, and like I said, I do believe it's the game that kind of jumps out the most to me. The issue is the studio. Now, not necessarily, we don't know this for sure. So what you have to remember is Arcane is split up generally into two. You got Arcane Lyon and Arcane Austin. And what I want to focus on, though, is the Redfall situation, and not to like beat on a dead horse over and over and over again, but you think about one very important, I'd say, stat about that game, and that 70% of Arcane Austin that made Prey didn't get to the part where Redfall came out, right? They didn't make it that far, and it's something very important to, I guess, just recognize and remember. You look at Arcane Lyon, and they'd obviously done Dishonored 2, they did Dishonored Death of the Outsider. They co-developed Wolfenstein Youngblood, which from what I remember, I never actually played it, but from what I remember seeing was an absolute garbage game overall. And then you had Deathloop being made by them as well. Now, to be honest with you, I was definitely one of the people that did not think Deathloop was a 10 out of 10. I honestly feel that with Deathloop, the internet was kind of split, where you had people calling it their best work and a Game of the Year contender, and then you also had people that were saying, "Are you insane?" And those were like the two different camps. Now, I didn't mind the game. I thought it was a fine game, but I really wouldn't have gone much more than that. I feel they personally took several steps back. Having now played Dishonored from start to finish, I feel like Deathloop was a huge step back from Dishonored. I think it was a huge step back from Prey. Now, again, different teams and all that, but I'm not the biggest fan of Deathloop. So while I am excited for Dishonored, I do have to remember this is the gaming industry we're talking about, and there's so many examples, and like the first one that comes to my mind, honestly, is Rocksteady. With, you think of the Arkham franchise, but you could probably do it with any of your favorite developers, which makes me sad, and I don't want to lead you down a very sad road, but here we go. You think about any of like your favorite games, say like the Mass Effect trilogy, or again like the Batman Arkham stuff. If you think about how many people that made those games are still at that studio, the studio that made that game, how many of those people that are still there, the number is insanely low, kind of across the board. Like, and that's just a reality of game development. People oftentimes they don't really stay put, they move around, and you literally have an example at an Arcane studio. Now, it wasn't that one, right? It was the Redfall team's one, but you had literally that example happen to the base studio where more than half of the team that made one legendary game in Prey, which I did play and I absolutely loved, more than half of them left and weren't even there to get through Redfall, which explains really what happened to it, right? And then honestly, you combine that with what my feelings and my opinions are on Deathloop, I would not be surprised. You think of Dishonored, and you think of the people that made those games legendary to some or very good to, whatever your opinion is on those games. You think about how many of them that are still there that'll end up working on Dishonored 3, it is kind of scary to think about because the number probably isn't all that high. I would bet maybe it's 50-50 or maybe even less than 50% are still there. Now, does that mean I'm not excited? No, I'm very excited. And it also doesn't mean that new people can't come in and be good, right? It's not a guarantee guarantee that for everybody you lose, you're replacing them with a worse worker, a worse talent. That's not guaranteed at all. You could actually be replacing them with an equal person, or actually a person that's maybe better than them. A person better could come in. So it's not guaranteed for sure. I want to make that known, and that's why I'm still excited, because I think there's still a chance, and I think the name Dishonored, and obviously you want to do right by the franchise, but at the same time, I do not think, this is, I would say very confidently, I do not think it's like a slam dunk where it's like, oh, they get to complete the trilogy, it's going to be one of the greatest trilogies of all time, like Dishonored 3 is guaranteed to be amazing. I don't think that's true at all. That doesn't mean I'm not excited for it. It just means there's a little bit more caution, when it comes to this game. So obviously we have years to go, and I'm sure I'll be covering it more as time goes on, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.